Hello! First video on the channel. Kind of whole point of this channel is to both share some music that I really like, but also hopefully get some new stuff from you guys. Because extreme metal, I've only been listening to for about... death metal was probably 4 years, and then black metal 3, maybe even closer to 2. I'm very new to both scenes. And there are some other stuff that I've given a try, like Doom and Sludge, and there are certain bands that I really do enjoy in those, but I haven't fully explored those scenes. I haven't even fully explored the Death and Black that I mentioned. I've only been in it for a couple of years. So we've got a big stack of stuff here to go through to share with you kind of what my general taste is, and hopefully you guys can give me some suggestions. So, we've obviously got what we're hearing right now in the background. Cavum, Ultra, and then also this one right here, Cold Tour. These are both fucking fantastic. This was the first one I ever heard from Cavum, their most recent release that came out this year. And as you can hear in the background, fucking fantastic. If you love black metal, this is a no fucking brainer. I've got other stuff by Cavum that's just over there in my collection. Predatorans Altar, I'm not sure how to fucking say it, I don't speak Norwegian, but the one with the big stone totem pole thing with all the Norwegian history on it, and then also Natur, and they're both very good, although Kultur and Ultra would definitely be the tops for me. Next one, this one, as you can see on the back there, is signed. And this is Acid Bath When the Kite String Pops. This is an album that for a long time was very difficult to listen to. Luckily now it's on Spotify and whatnot, and obviously they did represses and stuff, so you can get hold of it now. But yeah, for a long time, very difficult to listen to, but it's fucking fantastic. And I'm so glad that recently they did somewhat of a reunion. Obviously they broke up when their bassist died in a terrible car crash. But the fact that they're back together now and they're finally doing stuff again, not writing new music, but at least performing is great. Obviously, I live in the UK, so might not be able to see them, but the fact that it's just happening is great. Next up, Burzum Philosophem. Again, if you love black metal, you can't skip this one. It's fantastic. Described as an anti-trend album by Varg. I think it might have been more of a trendsetter than an anti-trend album. I really love this one. The constant fuzz on it, the ambience. There is one really boring 26-minute long track on it that I often don't bother listening to, but the rest of the album, particularly those first 3 tracks, it's fucking phenomenal. And again, absolutely is a must listen. Now to a more modern act compared to some of the ones we just listened to. Spectral Wound, A Diabolical Thirst. I also have Songs of Blood and Mire. I'll need to grab Infernal Decadence at some point. These guys are really good. Saying this as a Brit is a bit sacrilege, but I genuinely think the French scene and by extension the Quebec scene might actually be the best in black metal, despite places like obviously Norway and Finland, and the US has actually got a big scene going on at the moment as well. Sweden, obviously, they're all fucking fantastic and have their own flavors. But I think French with things like Spectral Wound, Peste Noire, Mutilation, Nocturnal Depression, if I remember right, they're from France. They've got some insane stuff coming out of the French-speaking world, and it's truly incredible. This one was quickly becoming a favourite of mine when I first heard it, and that is it's a compilation album of their 2 demos, Keys to the Astral Gates and Mystic Doors. The compilation album is called Endless Black and Melancholy Triumphant. This is raw black metal at its finest. I love it so much. Again, it's got that constant fuzz. The riffs are almost kind of bouncy in this one. Like they make you want to bop a little bit. I absolutely love this one. It's fantastically written. It's a regular return for me. And the 2 dungeon synthy ambient type tracks that they open both of the demos with are also fantastic, along with the one ambient track, I believe it's on the second demos, the second half of this album, called Snowbringer's Spell. Very, yeah, really evokes a lot about you. Reminds me a lot of, it's like a lyricless Snow or Grandskog by Darkthrone. It's very, very, very nice, that one track. Then, a pick that a lot of people talk down, but I actually really enjoy, is Black Braid. I will say that Black Braid 2 and Black Braid 3, while I do have them, I have Black Braid 2 on tape and Black Braid 3 turned up recently on vinyl. I do think they're not as good as the debut release Black Braid 1. This one really enthralled me when I first listened to it, and it's a regular revisit for me. The folk tracks that are interludes work really, really well as the folk that he incorporates in the actual black metal tracks themselves. I really, really love this one. And also, when I was at Fortress last year, the Black Metal Festival in Scarborough, I happened to run into John, and he was a very nice bloke. So yeah, always good to see. Going to Switzerland now for Ungfell. Again, speaking of folk black metal, this is absolutely fucking fantastic. Switzerland obviously has its own black metal scene with bands like Samil, bringing like an industrial tone to things. And obviously, as I said, this is a folk one. And first of all, look at how lovely and like weathered and old this cover looks. It's fantastic. That like yellowed paper look. It kind of looks like mulched together and everything. Oh, it's fantastic, and it feels perfect as well. It's not got that like shit glossy feel that you get with a lot of stuff. It's got that rough texture to it. And the artwork obviously as well is absolutely fantastic and matches this kind of material perfectly. But to the album itself, this again is one that enthralled me first moment of first listen. Loved it so fucking much. I basically listened to it on repeat for like a week straight. It sounds like a bunch of fucking trolls from World of Warcraft have overtaken some medieval tavern and are going fucking mental. Love it. A bit of a break from the black metal stuff for a second, going into death metal. Blood Incantation, Hidden History of the Human Race. I think this is my favourite by Blood Incantation. I saw them live recently perform Absolute Elsewhere in full, which I also have on vinyl, and that's also absolutely fucking fantastic. But this one in particular for me, particularly tracks like the Giza Power Plant, it's like it's written for me. It's fucking incredible. And then I also have Time Wave Zero, also very, very good. A great introduction to the Absolute Elsewhere album. And then also Starspawn and Interdimensional Extinction on tape. Those are also fantastic albums. But I think Hidden History of the Human Race has got to be their number one for me. Then, speaking of the home country, Bolt Thrower. Absolutely fucking love Bolt Thrower. One of my cats is named after the bassist Joe. Just said her name and her ears pricked up. For Victory, a lot of people say that Kill Chain is their favourite one for Bolt Thrower, and that is a very, very good album. I do like that a lot. The three that I have are For Victory, Realm of Chaos, and War Master. And of all of those, I think the favourite is For Victory. Bolt Thrower takes a very straightforward and punchy approach to death metal that I really, really appreciate. It's not super complicated, it's not tech death that's trying to just like be all show-off and stuff. Not that tech death can't be good, it can be, but a lot of it is often people who love their instruments more than they do the music, and it kind of takes away from it somewhat. But this is absolutely fantastic. And the vocalist I like a lot as well because his diction is very clear. I can understand what he's saying, which is nice to get from guttural vocals like the ones that he does. Reminds me a lot of the vocalist for Vader as well, the death thrash out of Poland, who are also very good. Sticking with Death Symbolic. It's probably not my favourite by Death. The first I heard by Death was Sound of Perseverance, and that was probably my entry into extreme metal in general, was that album. It really drew me in. The songs on that album, Bite the Pain, Spirit Crusher, a moment of clarity, voice of the soul. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's so fucking good. I think probably their best objectively is human, but symbolic is absolutely fucking fantastic. Yeah, and this one's Metal Blade. When was this one released? 2014. This one was. So obviously they did a repress recently, so I spent 200 fucking quid on this and could have got it for like 20, but there you go. That's what happens when you're impatient. 2 from Lamp of Murmur, but Lamp of Murmur, Submission and Slavery, and Saturnian Bloodstorm on a very pretty kind of crystal blue tape there. Lamp of Murmur, I absolutely love. Again, it feels like one of those bands that's just written for you personally. Yeah, I think my favourite by him would be, unfortunately I don't have it, because his can be difficult to grab sometimes, his stuff, would be Burning Spears of Crimson Agony. That EP is absolutely fantastic. But obviously Submission and Slavery is also incredible. That first, one thing I love about Lamp of Murmur is that he really gets his money worth out of those riffs. If he comes up with a good fucking riff, he's going to let you know because it's going to go on forever. And the way that draws you in, similar to things like similar to the way that stuff like Birds and Philosophem does, and some Satanic War Master, which we've got ones coming up later on for that. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. These two, again, 2 from the same band. We've got Maguire, Age of Excuse, and Exercises in Futility. I was lucky enough to come across these signed ones on eBay. I was literally just scrolling around looking for other stuff, and these popped up in the recommended. It was 100 for the both of them, which I've spent double that on one vinyl, so getting those 2 signed, I'll fucking have that. These 2, the same way that Bolt Thrower takes a rather stripped back approach to death metal, these guys take quite a stripped back approach to black metal. It's not as raw as a lot of other, there's not as much fuzz. Still obviously, heavily distorted and all that kind of stuff as you'd expect. But yeah, not as much fuzz, not as much gain as far as I can tell. But they are absolutely fantastic albums, and where Maguire really stands out to me is obviously the drum work. Their drummer is absolutely fucking phenomenal. Don't knock that down, please. Sorry, my cat's going a little bit mental. Yeah, the drum work, absolutely fucking phenomenal. The riff writing, even though they're so simple and often just power chords, they drive the song forward so well and help move with those drums. It's fantastic. And then I think where they really show themselves best is in their lyric writing. I mean, an opening line to an album being "The great truth is there isn't one," and it only gets worse since that conclusion. What a fantastic way to open up an album and state right forth what your thoughts are, what you're thinking, and just, yeah, like your whole philosophy on life and what this album's going to tell you. I don't think you could pick a better one. And then the final one is, as of recording, Satanic War Master's most recent release, Exaltation of Cruelty. I will have to pick up more from Satanic War Master. I really like what Werewolf does with this project. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, and then that's the other side of the picture disc. Sorry for the glare. I'll pull it out for you so you can see it properly, because it is a fucking beauty. And I mean, when I went on the store, it was the option between the picture disc and just a regular black vinyl, and obviously, if that's the case, I'm picking the picture disc. I know they're not the best for sound quality, but at the end of the day, it's fucking black metal, so, an extra bit of fuzz isn't going to kill you. Make sure, yep, there we go. And you can see the title up there, and then that's the back. Very nice looking Japanese kind of Oni style artwork. Really, really nice. Yeah. So there is more in my collection. Yeah, this is only about not even a quarter of what I've got. It's still a humble collection. There's not much to it. There are obviously some people who have got, rooms full of the shit. But considering that I've only been in it for a few years, I obviously don't have as much as some people. But we've all got to start somewhere. Anyway, that was a quick introduction to some of my favourites I currently have in my collection. Thanks for joining me. As I said, I am new to the scene, only been in it for it's max 5 years, probably more, around 4. So if you have any recommendations for stuff that I need to check out, I don't care if it's old, new, if it seems super obvious, it's like you're into death metal and you've never heard of this, or if it's something super underground, chuck it in the comments. I want to find more, and I'll put out more videos discussing more stuff that I find that I think you should know. Thanks for joining me.